What if I told you that your next growing season for spring starts right now in the middle of winter? You can actually start getting growing with some of your most popular crops and get them started for your spring. So this method actually works better in colder climates, especially for your popular spring crops. And it is winter here in South Africa. So if you're in another country like the Northern Hemisphere, where you guys are actually in summer right now, you can use this method for your winter and do exactly the same method. But in the Southern Hemisphere, we are all in winter, and we're going to go through why this method works and how to actually execute it so that you can get spring crops going in the dead of winter. So if you actually think of how seeds germinate in nature, they need the right conditions. So temperature is key when doing this. So let's take lettuce for example. They won't germinate if it's too hot, and that's roughly about 29 degrees Celsius, and if it's too cold, which is about 2 degrees Celsius, especially when it is dormant. So it's this period, the dormancy period, that we want to actually take advantage of. We want all the seeds to lay dormant through winter until spring, so that in spring they grow faster than all your other seeds that you would be waiting for if you had put them in seedling trays. So the important thing about this whole process is the timing. Just make sure that the temperatures are really cold, and it needs to be roughly about 2 degrees Celsius or lower. Make sure that it is not above 8 degrees. What will happen is that your seeds will just germinate too early, and the whole point of doing this technique is so that your seeds germinate in spring or in the beginning of spring and faster than all the other seeds that you would have started in seedling trays. And this is just basically setting it up so it lays dormant and it germinates when the temperature starts warming up. So in your climate, if the temperatures start warming up before spring, it's going to germinate too early. You want your seeds to germinate in spring so that you have that kickstart. So let's get started. So what you'll need for this technique is either a 2-liter or a 5-liter container. I'm using 5-liter containers like this. And you'll need tape. Then you'll need your classic spring crops that will work in this method. So you're looking at things like spinach and kale and cabbage. When your seeds start germinating earlier than all the other ones, trust me, these crops will have nice big heads on them. You don't want to do this technique with things like tomatoes, brinjals and peppers. These you can actually start indoors in your seedling trays, and when it is time for them to get transplanted out, when the season is correct, then you can do that. I'm going to get this guy going. Okay, so you can see I've just cut it from this point right around to that point. I'm able to actually lift it up. This is the technique I want to go for. You can go the other way where you can lift it from that side, but I thought that would be better. And then I'll tape that close. So that is what I'm doing. I'm not even putting holes at the bottom because we're not watering this, and I'll explain just now why. Now we just need to fill it up with some good soil and put our seeds in it. So I'm not filling this to the top. Just going to fill it up half, more than halfway. And then I'm going to grab my seeds. So let's see what we're going to grow in this Pacific dome. Okay, so for this Pacific jug, decided to show you how to do the kale, the black palm kale. All you want to do is sprinkle your seeds in your container. I might do all of these, guys. And then on the other side, I'm just going to put some spinach. Didn't have too much kale seeds there. I've already planted them in my raised beds. And the seeds that I'm using is from True Leaf Seeds. Go into my bio and you'll be able to grab some packets of seeds. They are all heirloom and they germinate really fast. Good germinate rate. And we're selling it on our website right now. So go grab some to get this process started. I will obviously name it. So now that we've done that, you do not want to go and water this. Do not water this. The whole idea of this method is for your seeds to be laying dormant through winter and only germinating when it starts heating up, and the temperatures have to be cold. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tape it up and put it in a spot where sun cannot get to it, but there is light. If this gets sun on it, it's going to warm my dome up, and I don't want that. Also, make sure the cap is off. So let me quickly fight with the tape and then close this guy up. All done. But what if you want a different technique in order to start some seeds, especially with crops that don't like their roots tampered with? Well, there is another method, and it would be crops that you could grow in your raised beds or in the ground, things like your beets and your parsley and your carrots. These guys don't really like being transplanted, so it is best to direct sow them in your raised beds or in pots or in your ground. But for them to survive winter, there is something that you do need to do. So I've got my raised bed here, and the one thing is that with a raised bed, they do warm up faster than your normal things like seedling trays, especially when spring hits. And that is why people like growing in raised beds. They do warm up faster. So make sure that your grounds are workable, nice, loose soil, and that it is cold. So my soil is pretty cold. That's because it is winter and the morning sun isn't harsh, but also the afternoon sun is protected by some nasturtiums. But the main thing would be your leaves. So what you want to do is that you want to come in, and I think I will go and put some carrots in this bed. And I think some rainbow carrots from True Leaf Seeds. They're quite nice. They got the purple, you got orange, red, yellow, white, and this would do very well here. And it's in a bed that has already got my lettuce in that. So I'm going to take these seeds and just slowly, I think I'm going to do half of these, and then these ones look quite nice. Chantenay Karoo carrots. And what we'll do is that we'll just come and thin them when they do germinate. Okay, so what you want to do is just lightly cover them, like ever so lightly. And then the main thing that is going to protect them is your leaf mulch. Just cover that section with your leaf mulch. Don't go and water them in. So basically what the mulch is doing is that it's just protecting it from that cold winter weather. And also if there is any frost, this is going to protect it. You'll see start germinating before spring because the raised beds are starting to warm up, because raised beds do warm up faster. Then the leaves will act as a mulch, giving you about a week or another 2 weeks before they actually surface. But also if you got that late frost, because there's always 1 or 2 late frosts that hit, the leaves will just protect the new seedlings from getting damaged or anything. So definitely go and mulch your new seeds when putting them in raised beds, even in pots, because mulch just protects that layer of soil from the cold. Let's go and see where to put those containers so that they can just stay in one place throughout winter. So where to actually put your bottles? Well, I don't want them in a place where hail or wind is going to get to them. I actually want them in a pretty shady place, but outside. Just make sure that the temperatures are below 2 degrees. If not, rather put them somewhere where you know it's colder. But right now, I'm going to put mine along my raised beds here because the sun rises that side and it comes over, and because it's winter, it literally will start going that way, which means that this area will always be shaded. Another tip is try to do more than one jug because it just huddles together and it will help with the temperature. I do have my peppers over here that we've overwintered, so if you've not checked that video out, go take a look at this video where it shows you how to overwinter your peppers and your brinjals in order for it to come back year after year and keep giving you fruits. So right now we are going to leave this throughout winter, and I'm only going to come and check up on them closer to late winter, spring. I'll leave them outside, and if it does rain, we just have normal nature rain entering your bottles. But winter, it doesn't actually rain at all here in Joburg, and so these guys should be safe. I don't have any problems with them sitting outside, and yeah, I can feel the bottles are pretty cold because it is a cold winter's day. And yeah, we'll come back and check them. And why don't you guys go and grab your own seeds? Go check this video out, and it shows you how we actually got our winter crops going. And go and select your seeds from True Leaf Seeds to get your garden going. And I'll see you in that video.